Hey guys, Zane here with another One Take review, and today I wanted to talk about the relatively new Noir album, Food for Thought. I accidentally came across this album. I had heard some hype building around both Noir and this record, but the only reason I actually gave this a listen is because of the fact that after reviewing some previously done videos on, or I should say previously reviewed albums on this channel, like the new Big Crit album, this ended up in my YouTube recommended, and I figured, hey, why not finally give it a shot? If YouTube's recommending it to me, of all things, YouTube actually recommends me some pretty decent music, generally speaking, so I decided to give it a listen, and I'm glad that I did, in all honesty, if not exclusively just to say that I have now listened to Chez Noir. The most standout aspect of Chez Noir's music, to me at least, is actually Chez Noir herself. She does have a really entertaining, fun personality. She can kind of be very charming in that sort of classic egotism sort of way, but she's still capable of showing a very vulnerable side and still maintaining that sort of classic hardcore kind of rapper overall vibe and tone and style. And that's something I can always appreciate, not just sticking to a shtick. Her performance feels very honest here. It actually just feels like Chez Noir. It doesn't feel like a rapper going by the name Chez Noir that happens to be doing some sort of a bit or some sort of character, because while that can work, as seen with last year's debut album from Bruiser Wolf, I kind of just prefer it when it's more of a just face-to-face, honest depiction of the artist, and this is, without a doubt, Chez Noir herself on this album, and overall I think Food for Thought really benefits from this being sort of a very unfiltered version of her personality, and I think that it's what ensures the album can never be anything less than decent, even in its weaker moments. Speaking of things that are just decent, the beats are relatively okay. Though, if I'm being honest, they're not all that great either. I mean, they do their job, I can't sit around complaining that the beats were not good or anything like that. I've certainly heard worse beats in hip-hop and just worse instrumentals in general, if we're including all music, but yeah, I just kind of think that the beats could have really been something better here. They could have been something more interesting. As it stands, this just feels like a basic classic, maybe like a late 90s hardcore hip-hop kind of instrumentals, but there's nothing wrong with that at all, I don't think. I think that it could have been a lot worse, like I said, and there's nothing wrong with taking something that's been done time and time again and just doing it well. If you're doing something well and it's already perfectly fine, then it's no big deal. Will you make a masterpiece like that? No. To do that, you have to do something actually, interesting or take something to a new level in terms of quality. And, I mean, Food for Thought really does neither of those things, but at the same time, it does what it does well, and the beats show that. The lyricism here is also pretty good. I won't say it's great, but it's good. It's fun, it's playful, every once in a while it's powerful. I will say that I do think that maybe it's not quite as thought-provoking as the, at least, title of the album is intending it to be, but overall the songwriting here is fine. Maybe it does kind of sort of fall to the tropes of 90s boom bap kind of lyricism, maybe a bit too much from time to time, but again, it does it well enough, and tracks like Split the Bread prove that Chez Noir is capable of doing some very strong writing as a performer. She's not just performance, she is actually a solid writer as well. And like I said before, with the beats, if you want to do something that's been done time and time again, at least well, then you're perfectly fine, and that's another case of this. It has been done time and time again. A lot of the song themes and the overall kind of tone and delivery of those lyrics, but at the same time, it's performed well, so it's not like I can really sit around here complaining that this isn't a good album because it's unoriginal. I think that's a very foolish thing to do when this is really just a genuinely well put together record. Last but not least, I just want to talk about the features on Food for Thought. I have made it apparent in my other reviews about hip-hop albums that have a lot of features that features tend to be my least favorite part of just hip-hop as a genre. I have nothing against the idea of common collaborations between artists, but really I just find that if an MC is really great on an album, that other performers can hold them down. That's why albums like Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator last year were so much of a disappointment to me, because there's one really great performer and a bunch of others that are just nowhere near their level. And I will say that it's not quite the case for Food for Thought and Chez Noir here, but still, Chez Noir does kind of shine above the rest of the performers here. I will say that Gold Cutlery does feature a solid Rome Streets feature, which is nice to see because I like Rome Streets, has released some very consistent music over the past couple of years. And I do think that it's a solid feature and probably the only one that really stood out to me overall. I mean, you've also got features from Jinx 716 that just I kind of completely forgot about the second that they ended. That feature was on Eat or Starve. And overall, I just think the features here don't really do much to contribute, but at the same time, they don't hold anything down either. There's no reason for me to say this is weaker overall, but they just kind of feel like they're there and that they're dead weight and that this album would have been at least a little bit better if it were just Chez Noir doing her thing. But again, still, it's not that bad. So overall, Food for Thought isn't a bad album, but it's not great either. The beats are so-so at best. The features kind of serve no purpose, but the lyricism is fun, if not a bit cliche at times, and Chez Noir is really a great, powerful personality, and she is a solid rapper as well. I didn't mention it before, but her flow is pretty on point here for the most part. So overall, I'm going to have to give Food for Thought 3 stars out of 5. I know that doesn't sound like a great rating, but that's decent as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of things here that could have been better with the beats and all that, but at the same time, her personality alone and her performance and the sort of engagement that she manages to connect to with the listener kind of ensures that this isn't a bad album by any means. And it's a fun listen, it's fairly short too, so I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a solid kind of almost late 90s sort of inspired hip-hop album, if you like that classic boom bap kind of sound. And yeah, overall, 3 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that is the end of this review, and I will see you guys in the next one.